This is a very, very worrying story. Almost 5,000 children were victims of abuse or subjected to violence in the Western Cape alone over a period of just 8 months. That's according to a report from the Social Development Department in the province of the Western Cape. Let's unpack these staggeringly sad numbers with Thulane Gxubane from the UCT Social Development Department. Mr. Gxubane, good morning to you. Thulane, good to have you with us on the show. Your reaction when you saw that report, it beggars belief how bad it is to my mind.
Good morning, Gareth, and your viewers at home. Yes, it was quite shocking for me, but more shocking further, it was your coverage of the infant, not even a toddler, who was sexually abused. I thought to myself, what on earth is going on? Always what comes to my mind, what kind of help are they receiving, both the child and the family, to deal with this kind of, abuse, because people don't have skills and often people blame each other, which often doesn't help the child who's been sexually abused. And now, speaking from social work background, we deal quite extensively with these kind of cases when there is sexual abuse in the family, and often the number of dynamics that are involved. And more often you'll find that it's been going on for some time and the family was not aware. Sometimes the family or the mother or somebody else in the family is aware, but it is something that you just do not talk about. And then often it's sometimes people getting caught by mistake or unintentionally, let me say. And it's scary. That is so scary for me. And as we having Sona, is it tomorrow? I'm hoping that the president will touch on this, in as much as we invest a number of resources into the early childhood development. We do not invest enough in terms of the children's psychosocial development. And this is where it will hurt us badly, as a society, because we need to invest so much. Otherwise, we have young people, because they, at their early age, they are children, but they grow up to be abusive, or teenagers or youth, and become youth sex offenders later. And my experience, having worked extensively with youth sex offenders, they vary. Some of them, they have been abused, but some of them, it's something that they've observed their friends doing. Yeah. But some of them, they do it under, influence, drugs and alcohol. So there are a range of factors that contribute to youth sex offending, which has been my area, which I'll speak to.
Yeah, Thulane, I want to talk, as I know there's a lot to unpack. I realize there's a lot to unpack. We're going to keep doing this, not just with you, but other organizations as well. Just before I say goodbye to you, though, I don't know if it's correct for me to bring SONA into this. I want to ask the question, what would the president need to say? But I don't think it matters really at that level. It's on the ground level. What needs to change in your mind? If you were in complete control and we have to get these staggering numbers down, what would you do? Not just advising the president, but what would you go out and do today if you could do it?
I would definitely invest a lot more into their psychosocial development and interventions that seeks to prevent, and early interventions as well, because these are children who will grow up to be our future, society. So we need to invest as much as possible, in terms of their psychosocial development and early interventions when issues of sexual abuse. I'm just using sexual abuse because it's my area. I did my PhD on youth sex offending. So I found that there are different types of youth sex offenders, as much as children who experiment with sex, but those who are reacting to their instances of sexual abuse. So we need to do a lot more investment in employing more social workers, as well as social workers who will specialize in this field. We cannot assume that any generic social worker can work with children who've been victims of sexual abuse. So we need more specialized interventions as well.
Well, from your mouth to the ears of government and all those who make the decisions, but I've no doubt, Thulane, you and I are going to speak again. I really appreciate your insight this morning. Thulane Gxubane from UCT's Social Development Department joining us here off the back of almost 5,000 children. This is a terrible story. 5,000 children abused or subjected to violence in just the Western Cape in the last 8 months.